Hey, how are you all doing? It's Ben from EQL Networks and Security. Today we're going to be looking at Dahua's 6 megapixel turret camera. The part number for this camera is going to be listed here. Now, let's get right into this. The specs of this camera are it's a 6 megapixel with a 1.2 inch CMOS sensor with a resolution of 3072 by 2048 and allows up to 25 to 30 frames per second. Also has a built-in IR LED with a maximum IR distance of 50 meters. It's also got the smart H.264 Plus and H.265. Basically allows you to choose from which codecs you want to use. So some of the features of this camera, it has intelligent detection. Now this includes tripwire and intrusion detection, but the camera also supports a maximum size of 256 gigabits of a micro SD card slot. Also has that built-in mic for recording sounds and is rated to IP67 for external use. I think it's got a wide operating voltage. Basically allows an input voltage difference between plus or minus 30%. So if you find yourself with that unstable power supply, the camera is going to try and work itself out. This particular camera also has WISense, which is AI and has deep learning algorithms, basically to focus on humans and vehicle detection. This enables users to act fast when a notification is detected, so you know it's basically picking up the right thing. Now, let's see how some Dory specs compare. According to the specs of this camera, it's able to detect at 56 meters, observe at 22.4 meters, recognize at 11.2, and identify at 5.6. So before we compare the performance of this camera, if you're new to the channel and like what you see here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Any other questions or comments, don't be afraid to hit us up in that comment sections below. Now, enough of this talking, let's go see how this camera performs. So here we go. So this is actually shot in late afternoon with the sun setting behind, but overall it's a great picture. It's crisp, it's clear, colors are quite natural on this point, but we'll start off with doing a bit of a close-up walk test. There you go, you can see it's detected a person, that's why it's got the blue box coming up. And if we freeze it there, you can pretty much still see colors, facial features, and everything that's going on. So on this next step, I'll basically go and do a walk by. Here I am. Once again, you can see the box gets picked up, detected, and then if we freeze it there, you can actually see colors once again, tones. You can make out some facial features at that particular distance as well. So what we'll do now is we'll go and do a bit of a zoom test. So on the left here, you can see the car number plate is very clear. It's pretty sharp, very sharp image. What we'll do now is we'll zoom into the center. Once again, number plates are not super clear, but very legible, and you can make out numbers and letters at that particular distance, which is about 18 to 20 meters away. And just over here, once again, clearly see the number plate, make and model of the vehicle as well. So overall, it's a very good image. And just we'll test into the tree line here. Once again, not really going to make anything out there at that particular distance. Just more for observing something going on. So now we'll get into the nighttime shot. So this is actually with the IR on. And then what we'll do is we'll go into a bit of a walk test. Excuse all the little bugs flying around. Here we go. Once again, it's detected there's a person. And I'll come up to probably about 4 meters away from the camera. And we freeze it there. This particular case, I haven't modified the smart IR, so it hasn't adjusted the intensity. But particularly there, you're not going to see anything if that's left unattended. Next, we'll do our walk-by test. Once again, you see the blue box detect person. If we freeze it there, you're not really going to make anything out at that particular distance. You just know something's happening, but you do notice there's not a lot of ghosting happening. But still, at that particular distance, you're not going to be notified or see basically any facial features. Now we'll do a bit of a zoom. So go on the left here. Not really going to be seeing anything here with the IR reflecting off the number plate. Pretty much you're only going to kind of see what type of car it is. Jump into the center. Once again, not going to be able to see anything at that particular distance. And then we'll just zoom in over on the van. Same thing, just with the number plates and the IR, you're not going to see anything. But this particular case, you can make out the make of the car. And now we'll zoom up into the tree line. Yeah, nothing up there as well. So it's just purely for seeing if something's going on and observing. So next shot here. So this is something we're doing a bit different now. So actually turn the IR off. You can see the image is also, it's slightly different. Everything's a lot more clearer. Like you're not getting any of reflection off the number plates and so forth. But we do the walk test. See, it's picked the person up. Now you can see that ghosting happening. And then if we freeze it there, funny enough, you actually see a bit more detail in this particular case than we did with the IR on. Next we'll do is we'll do a walk by. You can see that ghosting happening. And notice how it picked up the person detection a little bit late just because of the ghosting. And if we freeze it there, you won't make anything out at that particular distance, even with the IR off. Now what we'll do is we'll go and do a zoom. So here on the left, so in this particular case, now you can actually see some of the lettering of the number plates. It's not super crisp or super clear, but you can make out letters. We'll zoom into the middle. Once again, you can't really make it out. You can kind of see some lettering, but not clearly identifiable. And then we'll zoom in on the van. This one, we could actually make out the letters a lot better on the number plate, but you can't see what the make and model is this time. And then finally, we'll zoom into the tree line. Let me get that right. And once again there, it's just purely for observing something's going on. Now, what are my thoughts on this camera? Now, it's an easy to use camera and great for a wide variety of different scenarios. It has a 2.8mm lens and gives a fairly wide view and keeps a good perspective of the surrounding areas. You know, image quality during the day is great and performs as expected. Now, with the nighttime vision, it really is quite good and performs well at night, especially with that starlight technology. You know, there is a little bit of ghosting, which is to be expected. However, trying to identify a person at night, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get. But with this camera, it will allow you to be notified of any unwanted visitors with Sense enabled. You know, with its ability to reduce false notifications such as moving objects like trees, it will alert you when it actually detects a human or vehicle, which is great. So on that note, that's it for this video. If you found this video informative, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And while you're at it, hit us up in that comment section below for any questions you may have. At EQL, we're always here to help and support your business.